Hello and welcome back to the third episode of the Unplanned Journey, Thriving Amidst the Unpredictable. Get ready for a captivating episode of our podcast as we embark on a journey into the realm of the unplanned. In this episode, we explore the beauty and transformation that can be found within the twists and turns of the unplanned journey. From chance encounters to unforeseen opportunities, these unpredictable moments often hold the key to personal growth, resilience, and extraordinary experiences. So join us as we dive deep into the inspiring stories, insightful reflections, and the profound lessons learned along the way. Open your heart and mind as we embrace the magic of the unplanned. So let's begin this unforgettable episode of our podcast, The Unplanned Journey. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the wonderful Mary Finn. Mary has been working in the disability sector since 2001, supporting individuals with disability in employment and education settings. Prior to this, she worked for large multinational corporations in London and the wonderful Dublin. In 2018, Mary established Connect for Work, an independent early intervention case management service providing assistance to employers and employees who experience challenges which results in absenteeism. So absenteeism is like a potential absence, right, Mary?
Yeah.
Working with both employer and employee, she identifies the barriers to maintaining employment, balancing the needs of the business with those of employee, and crafting a unique stay at or return to work plan. So, very warm welcome to this episode, Mary, and really I would appreciate if you can add more to this amazing achievement of yours.
Thank you so much, Shivantika, for the invitation to speak with you today. I don't know what more I can add to that introduction, actually. So, yes, you're right in saying in 2018, I established Connect for Work, and it was on foot really of a pilot program that I was really fortunate enough to work on for a couple of years. And I had never really considered absenteeism in my own life. I had been away from work on planned occasions, but nothing really unplanned. And when I worked on this pilot, I came across people who were separated from the workplace for lots of different reasons. Some were ill health, and lots of different reasons. And it never really occurred to me, because I had never experienced how difficult it was for people to come back after a life-changing incident or health condition, or acquired injury. And it really just stopped me completely in my tracks. And a few people in particular who were one of the early few people that I worked and supported with back into work, and really how they came back from their trauma, and they were quite traumatic experiences for some of them, and how they managed just to get on with it, try and accept, that this is their new life. They have their own, very much their own unplanned journeys. So when the pilot program ended, I thought, I really don't want to finish this. I loved doing the work that I did, and so I fast forward a few years, and my own unplanned journey in the meantime. Connect for Work was established, and so that's what I'm doing. I guess I'm working with people in their own unplanned journeys, and trying to create a bit of stability in their life, and bring them back to work again, and let them off then again.
Well, huge congratulations on this, and I really love the
Thank
idea
you.
behind it. Also, the name Connect for Work, it's really amazing. So, can you share a story of a significant unplanned event or a detour in your life that led you down to a completely unexpected path?
Well, when I was in school, I always wanted to work in the disability arena, and I can't understand or explain why, but I was quite drawn to it. And I never really considered working for myself. But hey, it's an unplanned journey. So as I said, I worked in a program, and really wanted to do this, and explored a few avenues, and doing it alone, setting up Connect for Work on my own was the best option. But I really never considered it. I always knew I wanted to work in kind of this area. Once I started working in the pilot program, I thought I just love this work. And then, the opportunity came. It was either, I set it up myself, or I go back to doing what I was doing before, and that really just wasn't an option. So yeah, set up Connect for Work on my own. Have been working on my own since then, and it's funny, because I had looked at initially, partnerships and explored that, and went down a route to really explore that, and it just didn't work out. So it was my own or nothing, and here I am. And do you know what? I really believe things work out, difficult and all as things are at the time, and that was a difficult transition to decide. Okay, I'm going to do this myself. But yeah, it's been great. I'm really, really happy with where I am right now and where I'm going.
So let's say you are a one woman army leading the
I
whole and soul of
I
Connect World.
am. But behind every forefront of the army is a team, and I do have supports, that are helping me, and
Yeah,
I do have other
absolutely.
professionals. Like I've got a web person, I have an accountant. I'm just about to do some work with some associates, so I do have people around me. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm bringing associates into the business. But yeah, it's mine, and I suppose some of the people I meet, you asked to give an example of kind of unplanned journeys. I've worked with one lady in particular. She had a car accident, completely changed her life. She had life-threatening, well, not life-threatening, but life-altering injuries as a result of that. We don't plan illness, injury,
Yeah.
sickness, disability. We don't plan these. And when they happen to us, then we have to just completely change our in our entire lives in some cases. So, and I guess how we come back from that and how we accept that into our lives and how we manage and change our lives
Yeah.
and interact with life again is it can be a really difficult thing to try and get our heads around.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know what? Starting something like this on your own, initially having no support, it's just a single thought that, comes to your head and you're working towards it. It does comes with lot of challenges because I can totally relate when I started International Women in Tech. Still, it's just me who's leading into it. The whole podcast thing, again, I have to do all the editings and stuff. So it's quite challenging. And it
Yeah.
does come with a lot of emotions as well. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, why did you do it? Because it's so much time consuming, and then but the fun part of it is so in the enjoyment that I get out of it, and the relaxation that I get out of it. And I'm glad that I've started this, and talking to people like you, getting more people on board, and just introducing and relating to the unplanned events that are happening in life. So were there any challenges or obstacles that you faced while you encountered this unexpected path, and what were your emotions around that time?
Oh, my emotions, I think, were all over the place. And yeah, quite a few challenges. So when I was starting off in the initial kind of year or two, I would go to webinars and sit and listen to various very successful people, and they said, oh, when I started off, I had nothing, and and this is where I am now, and I've got a team of I can 200 people behind me. And I used to go to these to try and get inspiration to see like what can I learn from their journey and how can I apply it. But actually, I came away from a lot of those webinars thinking, I'm never going to get there because look at these, this person has built up this huge organization. They've got funding from all this source and that source, and they've got all these people. I'm small, I'm minuscule compared to some of these. And I left some of those webinars feeling quite deflated and thinking, that's a big gap, to bridge between where I am and where they are. So I stopped going to them. I decided, that's no good for me. So, when I saw your podcast, and you and I have known each other kind of for quite a while now. But when I saw your podcast, I just loved the idea of it because, for starting off in business on your own, I remember the first day after leaving my job, and I registered the company name, left my job, and I sat at the computer for the first day and I couldn't even turn it on. I thought, oh my God, what have I done? I've left a job to set up this business.
Yeah.
And I just really just didn't know where I was going to go with it. I knew what I wanted to do. I was very sure that I was going to be able to do the service because, I had 3 years working in the pilot program. So I knew what I was doing, but how to run the business was completely different. And that week for the first day, I don't think I should even turn open to my computer. I just sat at it, closed, or turned off. I just thought, oh my gosh. And it was a mixture of excitement, of
Yeah.
nerves, of uncertainty. Um, but by the end of the week, I meant to turn on my computer and I said, okay, right, just let's get started. Start somewhere,
Awesome.
start. There's a quote, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it's just come to mind now. But it's like, start where you are, work with what you have, use and use what you know, or something to that effect. And so that's what I've been doing. I just turned on the computer and just started, and it has just been going from there. So yeah, the emotions. When you go to business courses, they tell you about how to run a business and where you can get finance and where you can get mentorship and all,
Yeah,
but nobody really concentrates on the emotional side of things and how
absolutely.
challenging that can be,
Yeah.
and and how up you can be on one day and how down you can be the next day, and it's really quite difficult. And I had a family. I have three girls. I have a very supportive husband who has just been amazing through it, and yeah, but in your own mind, you're thinking, where am I going with this? What am I doing? And you know where you want to be, but it's just to get there. So yeah, my pathway has been kind of up and down, but I always knew where I wanted to go. I always know what I wanted to do with the service. I know the benefit it is, and why I'm doing this. That has never ever wavered because I've always absolutely known what I want to do with this.
Yeah. And to be very honest, the unplanned journey, the name that I've given to this podcast, it was all random. It was not planned. I was planning for a long time to start a podcast, which actually captures the challenges, the best out of a woman's life, a common woman's life that they are going through. And I never thought that I would be naming it the unplanned journey. Just one day I was having a chat with somebody and I was telling a little bit about my story. This happened, that happened. And all of a sudden I just said the word, this is my unplanned journey. And that's when I thought, why not just name the podcast The Unplanned Journey? Because it relates to so many people. Like, I have been talking to so many people through Coffee Chat with Jimantika. And every time I hear this word, like, the unplanned things in life, the unexpected parts in life. So I just thought it might resonate to a lot of people, a lot of women outside. And the idea behind this is not to capture the successful or women entrepreneurs. I might be doing that as well, but it's the small little things that a woman is going through or a person is going through in the life, and nobody's there to hear them out. So that's the
Yeah.
whole and soul behind this, because we want to hear the challenges, we want to hear the struggle that a woman is going through. And it's not just about where you are at the moment, it's about how you are going ahead with those challenges or the struggles, and still are adamant to reach your goal in life.
Yeah, and
So
I loved the idea of the name of it, and when I saw it, I contacted you straight away. I just love that because I think this is going to hopefully create a place where you can have lots of really
yeah,
fantastic conversations. And if people, I'm more than happy if anybody wants to reach out and chat to me. I'm more than happy to, because I have reached out to people and I have just found a space where I can just ask questions, and they
yeah,
might sound completely crazy, or just, just a place where you can just have a chat with somebody. It's like, I'm stuck here, where do I go
yeah,
with this?
yeah,
And I think women are usually quite good at it, but still we still hear of imposter syndrome, and I don't think we can have this conversation
yeah,
without at least referencing it. There have been some days when I woke up and I think, what am I going to do? How am I, and putting yourself out there, advertising your wares and your services. I've never felt imposter syndrome in what I'm trying to do, but putting yourself out there to be
yeah,
judged is a really difficult thing to do. And
yeah,
I remember the first time I actually wrote a LinkedIn post, I actually didn't post it for a few days because I was thinking, oh, what are people going to think about?
yeah, yeah,
And then I had in my mind few people. I said, what are they going to think about? And they're going to see this. And I didn't post it. And
yeah,
then I thought to myself, do you know what? This is my business. I know what I'm doing, and
yeah,
I'm going to post it. So I posted it. And you know what? I don't think it even got very many views, our interactions. So, and I just and that just solidified to me that I was just in my own head about what are people going to think, and clearly nobody thought very much about it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there was no huge interaction.
And it's
But
always about the first start, like it's always about the first
yeah,
start, the first step that you take. And this all brings us to, the word opportunity. So I would like to ask you that in this whole unexpected journey or unexpected path, did you find any hidden opportunities or, unexpected benefits when you started Connect for Work?
yes. So I suppose me personally, it's been a real challenge, and and it continues to be a challenge because the business is evolving and it is growing, and so that's always going to be a challenge. But I think there's also a huge opportunity because my message to employers is support an employee who's absent or at risk of an absence, support them to come back. But I think there's also a huge opportunity to open up lots more conversations with people around, like, we all have diversity in our lives. We all have
Yeah,
adversity, and how we manage our adversity will really impact on how we can continue on in our working lives, and the challenge that it influences and impacts in our personal lives. So it gives employers a huge opportunity to say, well, okay, fine, this person is absent or they're at risk of an absence, let's support them. But this also gives us an opportunity to open up conversations to other employees who might be struggling or who
yeah,
might be knowing that it may be a loved one or a family member, it might be facing into a difficult time, and it might influence their capacity to stay at work. So how do we open up workplaces to be more inclusive of the diversity of our adversity? So I think that's a huge opportunity, and I try to talk about that with everybody as much as I possibly can. Um, and I suppose for me, in my family, my girls see that I work very hard, and they see, the work that I put into it. And not that I talk too much about work, but they know when things are going well because I'm singing around the house very badly, mind you. But so they see that we all have struggles, and
yeah,
if we work through them, pick holes in them, just kind of get started on what it is, we can get through them. We might need supports every now and then. We might need to lean on people. We need to lean deeper into ourselves. But I do hope that I'm serving to be a role model to my girls, that, whatever they might face in life,
yeah,
that there is a pathway through it. It might be broken at times. You might need help, someone to come in and carry you a bit, and that's fine. And it's more than 100%, a million percent
yeah,
even,
yeah,
to ask for help. And I think that's a
absolutely.
really key part of when you're going through an unplanned journey, is knowing that it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah,
And I resisted that actually for quite a while, because I thought, well, I'm the mom, I'm the business owner, I'm the this, I'm the that, um, and I should be able to do all this myself. And I can't. And it's
yeah,
perfectly fine now to say that I know I need help, because I'm not a web designer. I'm not an
yeah,
accountant. I'm not lots of things. And I
yeah,
know I'm not. And it's perfectly fine. And it's much easier. Then I can just pass certain things off and say, okay, you help me with that and let's do that. And it gets done
yeah.
quicker, and certainly a lot more professionally than if I
And
was there to design my webpage.
And I really like when you said about role model, because I think in our everyday life, you need to have a role model in your life, to just who you can shadow, and you can become a role model for somebody else. You are actually a role model for somebody else out there. So I do feel like, people do play a huge role in your life, negatively or positively as well. Sometimes some people come in your life to pull you down, which is also like a positive thing for you if you take it in a positive way. Sometimes,
Sure.
the negative feedbacks are really important in life as well, to see where you are going. So
Yeah.
I've always welcomed those, negative critics, that you call
Yeah.
in that
But
journalism world.
it can take you a while to get to a point in your life where you're strong enough within
Yeah,
yourself to say, okay, this is a negative feedback, but this, and I would be like you, I would see that as a learning opportunity to change
yeah, yeah,
things, or to change how I do things, or how it's a learning opportunity for me to see things from a different perspective. But I think it takes a lot to get to that point.
absolutely. Yeah,
and I'm absolutely there, and I would always ask for feedback. When I work with someone, I'll always say, like, is there anything we could have done differently? Were you, could we have done things earlier? Could we have done
Yeah.
things later? Or how could we have changed things? So I think it's really important. And if I go on a training course and we're asked for feedback, I'll always take the time to do those feedbacks. I think
Yeah.
it's really important. But you do have to have some strength in yourself to be able to be open to that.
Yeah. And it all comes through experience, not you. It's not fair to ask somebody, you know what, you're getting a negative feedback, just convert it to positive. That's not fair to ask to anybody, right? Because it
Yeah,
all comes through experience, the strength, and sometimes when you fall 100 times, that's how you rise 10,000 times. So that's the
yeah,
thing. I mean, I believe, because everybody goes through some sort of situation, but it's not important that on the first failure you'll be like, oh no, I am so positive and I don't care about the failure and all. So it's that's how I think, and that's why I think mentors, role models do play a huge role in your life to boost that confidence in you, to let you know what, it happens.
yeah,
So just be patient, just work on it and get through, all the negative things that are coming in your life. And I do feel mentor allies are so important in your life. So did you
sure.
find any support or guidance from others? I know you mentioned about your girls, but did you have any other mentor or an individual whom you would like to talk about and give an example?
Well, she might not know that I think of her as an inspiration, but Sinead Kane, who is a Cork-based lawyer who has a significant visual impairment, I have actually met her. She is an ultra marathon runner. I'm not sure if you've ever come across her name, Jivantika, but she's amazing. She runs with a partner who she's tethered to. So she has done the 7 marathons in 7 days in 7 continents. She is just amazing. And when you meet her, I'm not a giant, but she is not, of the stature I expected of her. And so we had a brief conversation. So I think she's amazing. She really is. What she puts and the amount of training that her and her running partners go through. And she's represented Ireland in kind of amazing. There's a few others as well. Sinead Burke, who her company called Tilting the Lens. I'm sure again if you would know her. She is from Dublin, I think, but I don't know if she's based in Dublin. And I love following her. She has been a really good inspiration. And so there've been a few others, and I've been following yourself for a while. And I think what you've done in the Women in Tech, and and I've linked in with a few of the members from that, and I think that is amazing. To give a platform to women. And I know they're in the tech space, and I said to you the first time I met you, well, I'm not really in tech space. I'm a bit of a technical muppet, but I just think, it created a space where people could come and ask questions.
Yeah.
And if they're having a struggle or if they have a query, that is there for them. So, and then I also joined one or two business programs for kind of start your own businesses, or if you have an
Yeah.
idea, the entrepreneurs program, or the entrepreneurs academy. They were fantastic. Some of the tutors that were in there have just been amazing. They really have. And Joanne Hessian is one of the founders of that. She set up Lift. Do you know that's the Leaders for Ireland program? And so that support that I've got from them and all the individuals, and even though some of the ones that might not know, I find them an inspiration, but I watch them, I read what they're doing, and I just think they're amazing. If they can face their adversity and get on with this, then so can I. And I try to emulate their resilience in my own life. So yeah, lots of different inspirations.
Well, that's really nice. I mean, people do have a lot of people coming in their life as a mentor or an advice. So Well, it's not because I promised my mom, but I do take her name every so often. I did tell her, you know what, I'm going to be taking your name really often. And she's so cute. She'll go to all the podcasts that I've released and she'll actually listen to the whole, because I didn't tell her that this is where I'm going to be taking your name. But she'll listen to the whole podcast and I'll see what I say mom word. She'll like, oh, you took my name in your. Yeah. She's that cute. But she's always been the backbone for me, like, in personal, professional life. So I would never, ever can imagine, wherever I am at the moment, it's all because of her.
Yeah, I think
So
family support is
it's
enormous, isn't
really
it?
important. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
important.
I would come from a very close family. We would be in contact with a lot, a lot of times, and I think, and I know not everybody has a family background that I have, but I am so grateful to my parents, my sisters, and my one brother. And yeah, they're always kind of checking in, how are things going, and
Yeah.
don't always tell them everything, but
Well,
but
it's
yeah,
different for me. I would run to my mom and I'll tell her everything. But to be very honest, like on the professional end, I do have really amazing mentors. One of them is John, that I would like to mention. And he has always been a huge support for me throughout, an advisor, a counselor, a mentor. So I think it's really important in everybody's life. I think people should find somebody, if it's a family or somebody outside whom they trust, at least one person with whom they can share, because you can't be
yeah,
comfortable with everybody, right? And that's not even a fair ask that you tell
yeah,
people, oh, you know what, you can share everything with me. No, if you're not comfortable, if you don't trust, it's really hard to trust sometimes. So I think
yeah,
that really relieves a lot of stress, that you have about something if you share it with someone you believe.
yeah.
So promise, this is the last question. I just wanted to get your advice, for the listeners who may currently find themselves in this unexpected path or an like unplanned journey. So what advice or insights would you give them to embrace the unknown?
Oh my gosh, there's so many different things you could say, but I suppose in my experience, like I said earlier on, I never wavered in why I was doing what I was doing. How I was going to do it, that was a little bit grey. But I think if you really believe in what you're doing, then stick with it. And not everyone's going to come into your life and say, "Yeah, that's brilliant. Go for it." Some people will, come
Yeah,
in and question it. But just be open to everybody that comes into your life with the questions, the support, or whatever, and build a network around you, whether it's one or two or three or four or whoever it is, but have people around you. I'd often say to my girls, look, if you don't want to talk to me about things, make sure you have at least a friend who you can talk to. And I think talking to people, having that trust with somebody is just huge.
yeah,
But you also need to trust yourself. Some people say, don't do this, don't do that. Um, but if you really believe it's the right thing to do, and it's the right decision for you, then sometimes you just have to trust that too. And it can be a hard decision,
yeah, yeah,
and it might go against some people, but if you really truly believe and it's not going to harm anybody in any way, then if it's the right decision, just go for it. And if you have a business decision, or if you're an employee and you have a challenge, just find someone to talk to that you trust, and go for it, because if we listen to all the voices in our heads, the yeses, the nos, we
yeah,
would never be anywhere. We would be quite paralyzed, I think, and not be able to move forward. And you never learn anything, you never go forward, and you'll never achieve all that you're supposed to achieve. And even failure, even if you try something and it fails, then you tried it, and nobody can ever take that away from you. You tried something, you failed, you fell down, you just get up again, and just keep on
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just really important just to keep on going. Life is hard. There are plenty of knocks.
Thanks. Thank you so much. That was a really amazing advice, and I'm sure the audience, will take it into action. And even for me, it was such a huge learning from you. So, I know you are a big fan of Frost. Do you want to share a couple of his wisdoms
Yes.
with us?
So I this poem, Robert Frost. It's called the Road Not Taken, and it really signifies a lot of what we've been talking about. We plan lots of things in our life, but we come to points in our life when, the path breaks and we've got different options and we don't know which one to take. And so the last verse of it is, start off by saying, I should be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. So I think we're telling this now. We were looking back and at our unplanned journeys and where we were,
Yeah.
in our own lives, we will always be at two roads in this woods as a metaphor for our lives. And if we take the one less traveled by, which is our unplanned journey, and that's made all the difference. For me, it's been fantastic. Challenges for sure, difficulties and heartache and tears and all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'm so happy I'm here, and that's what's made the difference. And I encourage anybody listening and say, look up the poem Robert Frost, Two Roads Diverge on a Yellow Wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller. It's
Wow.
just it's such an amazing poem. I love it, and it really signifies life.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, for sharing that. Those were really, inspiring words that you've just said from the Frost. So, as we reach the conclusion of this captivating episode on the Unplanned Journey, we hope that it has inspired all of you to embrace the unexpected and find beauty in life surprises. So, our exploration into the transformative power of unplanned paths has showcased the resilience, the growth, and remarkable opportunities that can raise when we let go of rigid expectations and open ourselves up to the new possibilities. And the stories and insights shared by Mary have served us as a powerful reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary moments and meaningful connections come from the unplanned. So, Mary, you have reminded us to trust the journey, to navigate the twists and turns of life with curiosity and courage, and to have faith in our ability to adapt and thrive. We express our sincere gratitude to Mary for sharing her personal experiences and wisdom with us. Her openness and vulnerability have enriched our understanding of the unplanned journey, and we are incredibly grateful for your contribution. So, as we wrap up this episode, we encourage you to reflect on the lessons learned and to carry the spirit of embracing the unexpected into your own life, and embrace the unplanned with an open mind, open heart, a willing heart, and a belief in the remarkable possibilities that lies beyond what you can foresee. So, thank you, Mary. Thank you, all of
Thank you.
us, for
Thank you so
joining
much.
us. Thank you, all of us, for joining on this inspiring episode of the Unplanned Journey. And stay tuned for more thought provoking conversations and captivating stories that will continue to ignite the spark of curiosity, growth, and resilience within us all. So, until next time, embrace the unplanned and enjoy the extraordinary adventures that awaits you. And if you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay connected with us, we invite you to hit that subscribe button or follow our podcast channel. We value your support and appreciate you being a part of our podcast community. Together, we can continue to explore fascinating topics, share empowering stories, number of challenges that we face in our day-to-day life, and ignite a spark of inspiration in each other's lives. So thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to having you with us on the next episode of Unplanned Journey, Thriving Amidst the Unpredictable. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.